the number one cause of divorces is what?
Infidelity and money.
Money, finances. I believe, in my opinion, and I will plant my flag on this. The number two most destructive thing in a relationship is lack of communication.
Yeah, big time.
And when I say lack of communication, I'm talking precise communication on your roles, who does what, when, where, how. If that is not clear and concise, your relationship will end before you know it, and neither one of you will walk away with money. And we are back with a great episode of Impactpreneurs with your hosts, Sean Alexander and
Davrick Lyles.
I am fucking excited.
Today is going to be a good show.
It is.
It's awesome.
It is. How's your week, though? I haven't seen you all week.
Yeah, no, you went off to Dallas.
I did.
Talk about that.
Dallas. First of all, it's definitely my top 3 favorite cities in the country. It's just a booming economy, booming state. That state is the one state that believes in complete, absolute freedom from the government. We'll leave that for another day.
Nice.
But I just love everything about Texas. I love the people. I love the businesses out there. I love the money. It's real people, real money, real transactions. Everybody wants to prosper together. Everyone's a team player, even people that don't know each other. It's a lot more real people and, a lot less fake bullshit. And, I went out there with my mentor. We had several deals set up that we did, but I also brought a deal to the table for another friend of mine that's looking to take his company public, and it is going to make him and his partner exceptionally wealthy in the next 6 to 12 months. And when he sees this, I'm talking about you, all the love, man, and I'm excited to see how big this win is for you when this deal is done and close for you.
Nice. You had a productive weekend.
I had a very productive weekend.
Nice.
And, like I said, I'm more excited for my friend because I was able to bring something to the table for him that has nothing to do with me, and it's going to do magic for him and his partner.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm very excited for them.
More productive than me this weekend. I actually had a kind of a break. Not a break, but it wasn't as busy as it could have been. But it was nice to kind of catch up on some things and move forward. This weekend coming up is going to be real busy.
Sure. So then that means you're going to multiply your efforts this next week.
Absolutely.
Peak performance.
There you go.
Right
on. So what are we going to talk about today?
What do you want to call it?
I think we should call it fantasy versus realism. Reality. There you go.
Okay. About what women say they want versus
what they really want.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
And so we can kick that off. Do you want to hit the topic?
Man, okay. I'm just going to preface with this first. So I'm going to pre-frame this for all our viewers.
And we're talking about singles, right? Not necessarily couples.
We could be talking about couples too, because actually I believe what we're about to talk about can and will help some couples,
right,
that are kind of confused and trying to figure out their roles. Because I actually have clients like that right now. But
can we say a disclaimer?
Yeah.
So just for everyone listening, we're not misogynists. That means that term, and I want to clarify that means a person that hates women. We do not hate women, okay? We want to put that out there. We love women. We love people. But we're going to speak the truth, and we're not going to sugarcoat it. Sean really won't sugarcoat it. I won't sugarcoat it at all. So,
well, and here's what I wanted to say. Without thinking that there's anything offensive that comes out of this, anybody that's listening, just be extremely open-minded and just listen carefully with what we're talking about and how men and women can play a significant role for each other. Because at the end of the day, men need women and women need men. And the fact that there's some fucking bogus stigma out there where people say like men don't need women, women don't need men, and everybody can do it by themselves. Yeah, like I can go rule the world and do what I want by myself, stay single, and I don't need a woman. And same for vice versa. But at the end of the day, in reality, when it comes to doing bigger and better things, a man needs a woman by his side, and a woman needs a man by his side. That's why so many people use the game of chess as an example in life and in business, because the king rules the empire while the queen protects the king and protects the home.
Say it again. I want to hear that one more time.
The king rules the empire while the queen protects the king and the home.
Exactly. And that's a fact.
Fact. And if the king doesn't feel protected, the empire starts to fall apart.
Absolutely.
And in layman's terms, for anybody who doesn't understand what we're saying, in the home front, if the man, the king of your home, does not feel protected emotionally in a relationship, in a marriage, and obviously the king has to do the same thing for the queen, but specifically for the king who's trying to go rule the world and rule an empire and make things happen, everything will fall apart.
100%.
And you both will lose everything.
Yeah, behind every successful man, there's a successful woman.
Yeah.
And unfortunately nowadays, it's not their wife, which is sad. And so that can be a recipe for destruction.
I'm going to read something, actually, since we're right on that topic right now. Denzel Washington wrote this a long time ago, and I've saved this like forever ago. I've had it for, 5-6 years. A wise woman knows the importance of speaking life into her man. If you love him, believe in him, encourage him, and be his peace. And I can't stress enough how important that is, because I've been in relationships like that has completely torn my business apart many years in the past, because things start to get destructive. Because when I want to go rule shit and I'm being told no, that causes a lot of damage.
Sure.
Within yourself, within the relationship, within the home.
Resentment.
It gets worse. It's just worse than resentment. It just turns into complete chaos.
And see, people have to realize and understand that, ladies out there, if you're listening, you bring a huge value to the relationship by supporting the guy, because he's going to go out and slay the dragon and bring home the prize. And if you're hindering that performance, everything suffers. And my last relationship before this one, same thing. I lost probably $80,000 a year in that 1 year because of that relationship. Not understanding that, hey, I still have time for you, but I'm also going to go slay the dragon.
Well, here's the thing. Listen, if women, ladies, if you have a man that wants to go conquer, wants to go hunt, let him go hunt. Push his ass out the fucking door and let him know you got his back. You'll put food on the table. You took care of the house, and throw his ass out the door and be like, go do what you want to do. Go conquer, go hunt shit, come back with food.
Right.
Like, don't stop your man from wanting to be a man.
And you bring more value to the relationship if you're allowing him to do this. And I say allowing with respect, because if you're getting a high valued man, an alpha male, and that's built in their DNA and they're doing what they're supposed to do, and you try to put handcuffs on that, you try to slow it down, put a governor on it, like a vehicle, and say, no, you can only go 50 miles an hour, you can't go 120. That is not going to work.
It's going to hinder what you expect for your man to bring home. It's going to hinder your relationship. It's going to cause resentment, as you said. And overall, at the end of the day, whether it's short-term or long-term, it will be the end of your relationship.
Done. Because there's loss of respect, and there's resentment and dissension in the relationship. And what happens is, soon as you let that person free, they're going to go genetically or DNA wired to go find somebody else that's going to have their back. Most relationships end because they're not getting the emotional support. In my opinion, it's not about the sex for a high value man.
No,
because we've been there.
That's part of what we want in a very healthy relationship.
Correct.
But that's actually secondary. It's the emotional intelligence that we want.
Exactly.
Emotional intelligence. Like, and people in today's world fail to understand what emotional intel is, and I believe that surpasses everything when it comes to succeeding in a relationship. Everything. And here's the biggest, man, I love this topic.
This is good.
I'm amped up right now. Here's something really big that I think it's left out. So, the number one cause of divorces is what?
Infidelity and money.
Money, finances. I believe, in my opinion, and I will plant my flag on this, the number two most destructive thing in a relationship is lack of communication.
Yeah, big time.
And when I say lack of communication, I'm talking precise communication on your roles, who does what, when, where, how. If that is not clear and concise, your relationship will end before you know it, and neither one of you will walk away with money.
100%. And that's and when you said that, it's also understanding the other person's needs, which is about the roles.
Correct.
And when you say roles, for some reason, a lot of women get offended because the new society has structured the woman to go out, be the guy, go out and conquer the world, make all this money. And in reality, a high value man isn't looking for that. He wants understanding. He wants communication. He wants respect.
Yeah, now if you want to go conquer and hunt with him, then fuck yeah, let's go. If you want to say like, hey, go out and do what you want to do, but I want to be your running man, fucking great. Even
Absolutely.
better.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's where that women are claiming they want alpha men to do this, to do that, to rule the world. But in reality, they actually want a soft man. They want a soft man that's going to bend over. That's going to submit. That if you say, no, don't go hunt, they say, okay.
And let me explain. High value man does not want, here's a high value man. 10 to 20% of the men right now that are high value, that's what's out there, are having, they're dating multiple gals. They're trying to find the suitable mate or partner for them.
Compatible partner.
And 80 to 90% of the men can't find anybody because they're not of high value. And when I say high value, I'm talking net worth. I'm talking lifestyle. I'm talking they look good. They're taking care of themselves.
Peak performing in business.
And it's about status. And you know, I use the blue check mark on Instagram for an example. If you don't have swag, you're not dating. That women have accessibility to social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snap, and they got all these dating apps. And for a guy to go out right now, an average guy, to say, hey, I'm going to go, and for lack of a better term, I'm not talking about relationships now, but I'm singles. I want to have sex tonight. Any woman out there right now, if she gets on her phone and calls one guy and says, hey, come over, I want to have sex, they're going to do it. But guys can't do that. And so if you're not a high value guy, what a woman really wants, you're not going to be able to do that. But if you want a high value man, what do you bring to the table? What is your value? And I hear, oh, I'm nice, I'm pretty, I'm sweet. No, there's a couple things we need. We need you to be able to submit, and that's a negative word for a lot of women. They don't understand that. We're not trying to tell you what to do, but can you respect us? Can you let me lead? Can you let me go conquer and take over the world?
Yeah.
And you could talk about this because you deal with mental health. You deal with relationships.
It is, and actually, it hardcore carries into the mental health sector because women that end up stopping their man from wanting to be a man is a confidence destroyer. It will ruin a man's self-belief, and it will ruin a man from becoming the person that he's supposed to be.
100%.
Our world today has turned into nothing but just toxic behavior and toxic mentality and toxic thoughts.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That's all it is. So this whole term where because watch, there's going to be people that listen to us and they're going to be like, these guys are fucking toxic. They're toxic. This is toxic masculinity.
Exactly.
And here's the thing. There's no fucking such thing as toxic masculinity. So you're going to tell me that a man that wants to go hunt, bring bread, bring money to the table, take care of his family, fucking live his dreams, bring the dreams to the family, that's toxic?
It's not.
No.
But the world has bred beta men now and women,
soft men.
and women to go out there and try to kill the dragon. And
that's okay.
And that's
too.
okay. But women date up. It's plain and simple. Well, I got my own money. I wanted to, okay, you're going to die by yourself and lonely. Women date up. It's a fact. Plain and simple. So women say, oh, I want a guy that makes $200,000, $300,000 a year. Okay, now you're in the upper 3-4%.
Correct.
Okay, guess what? To get that guy, what value are you bringing to the table? Because that guy has options. He has options. So if you just say, well, I got a fat ass, I'm a big titty girl, let me tell you something. That's a dime a dozen for high value men.
And not just that, because here's the thing: if someone's making $300,000, $500,000, $1 million a year or more, the ass and titties doesn't mean anything anymore.
Exactly, because we've been there.
Because as a partner, if you were going to come into my life as my partner, what kind of value are you going to bring to the table to my home so that I can go duplicate that number?
Exactly.
That's what I'm looking for.
Exactly. We need that support. We need that wingman or wing woman, wing person, right?
Right.
And so if they're not there, we know, because we have gotten to this level through trials and tribulations, bad relationships, shitty relationships, decent relationships, and great relationships. Through thick and thin in business, we know how to navigate through the bullshit. We know how to navigate through life and all the hurdles. And the last thing we're going to do is go, wow, she's got a nice body, and let her destroy what we work so hard for. So we have to see through the bullshit and go, you know what? You're good looking, she's good looking, and she's good looking. Not literally, but let me take an application assessment here. What value do you bring? Because I don't really care about your money as much as how you're going to help support me to build the dynasty. My dynasty is going in true north. I'm going up. And if you want to come along and I'll help you and we'll do it as a team and continue it. But if you come along and you start chopping my feet out, start focusing on little things that don't matter, start taking me apart as a man, you're gone. Well, you're not going to find anybody. Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
I'm a high value man. So men, you have to know your value and worth as a man, because too many men right now, they're just like, okay. And then what happens?
It's what you call a lack of standards.
Exactly.
Like standards just doesn't. I talk about this almost every single day. I have a conversation 2 or 3 times with clients about standards with different people every single day. That is probably like that is a common thing that comes out of my mouth every single day is standards and core values. And if you don't have standards, if you don't have core values as far as who you are, what you believe in, what represents who you are, and what you want to stand for you and your family, you're a dead man.
Absolutely.
You're just not getting buried yet.
Absolutely. And it's interesting. When I was younger, I remember this. It took me a while to figure out my value, because men have a hard time with this, right? Because women have so many options in the dating world. And I see, I can't find a good man. I can't find a good man.
Because you're going after the shitty man.
You're going after the shitty man, right? And then you try to go for the high value man. You can't get the high value man.
You don't bring value to the
You don't
table.
bring value to the table. So what happens is women in general, and this is statistics, okay? Women in their 20s, they go out, they're getting this date these guys. They don't want to be serious, or they do. When they hit 28, 29, that's when their stock starts dropping. Women know this, okay? And women at that point go, I want to get married and have kids, whether it be paternal or not. Men's stock keeps going up in value, okay?
Because they become more driven as we get older. We become more driven,
right? And
we want more freedom, and we want the ability to go do the things that we desire in life.
Right. And not only that, your net worth goes up in value. Men 40s and 50s are still peaking in income. I'm making the most money I've ever made in a year this year. And
you're over 50.
I'm 51. Thanks for throwing that out there. Okay. So
He's halfway through life.
I'm half. Okay. There we go. But the point is, right now, what happens with men, let's say in their 20s or 30s, they're with this gal who's 28, 29 years old. They're like, okay, I want to get married and have kids. They sold their stock right when it was peaked. The guy sold his stock early. His value keeps going up. And what happens in 10, 15, 20 years? Communication. Maybe they didn't have an arrangement of what the needs were, like you talked about earlier, what their expectations are in communication and support. And what happens is they get divorced. Guess what happens? They just cashed out. You married the government. You have to understand, men, where your value is, okay? Nothing against women, okay? I love women. But at the same time, I know where my net value and my net worth is, and it's still going up, okay?
This is where, in my programs, personal growth comes in so heavily. It is mandatory, working on yourself, being associated with the right people. We talked about that in the last episode. Being in the right environment, not doing the shit that devalues who you are as a person. Like if I'm me being a high performing man and someone that has extreme self-confidence, I'm not going to be looking at a woman that's going to a club, that's doing this, that shows off for having a glass of champagne on the fucking beach. Like that shit doesn't mean jack to me. But if I'm seeing a woman that's like works out hard, reads books, improves herself, surrounding yourself with other strong women that believe in strong men, that is valuable. That is extremely valuable to me and the community that I want to give back to.
And you hit on a good topic, because I'll bring this up too. Men do not want a woman with high hit ratio, right? A promiscuous woman. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. Men do not want a woman that has been with a lot of men. Women will say, I don't want a man that's been with a lot of women, but yet the high value man has been with a lot of women because that's an individual that can only get the women to be with. I'm not just saying they're a fuckboy. That's not what I'm referring to.
Or a gigolo that goes out and does things. That's,
no.
Don't get the wrong idea.
We've been through trials and tribulations. In other words, we have the experience, and we're going, okay, look, I've been with a lot of women. I know my value, and excuse my French, pussy's pussy. You got to bring more to the table.
Yeah.
And if a guy sees a woman, and women will say, I don't want to be with a guy with a lot of women, but you go after the high value man. He's been with a lot of women. Okay. Now, the guy's like, I don't want a woman that's been with a lot of guys. And let me tell you why. A man's biggest fear is to have a child with a woman and find out it's not his child.
Correct.
Okay, I'm going to say it again. If it's not his child, he's afraid. So a promiscuous woman, if they're in a relationship, she can go off and do whatever she wants. Maybe she's out banging this guy, John, Ted, Fred. And then what happens is you're like, wait, is that my kid?
Well, this is where the whole concept of allow the king to go build the empire, rule the world. As the queen, you protect your man. That doesn't mean you protect him from getting killed. That means you protect his emotions. You protect his thoughts, his feelings. You protect him as a man and just transfer energy and belief into him.
Yeah.
Because by doing that, he will go multiply his efforts because he's got a strong woman that he knows is his guardian.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this and add to this. And high value men are good at working around this. Women set the tone in the home. Okay. And what I mean by that is a woman that values the relationship with her man. Okay. She can say one word, Sean, you're my hero. I love and respect you. I'm proud of what you do. Go slay the dragon. You're going to fucking kill it that day. But if she says
back with its head,
yeah, head and maybe another one. And if in the morning she's in a bad mood and she says, you know what, you pissed me off, I've lost respect for you, your whole fucking day's shot. Dead. But high value men can try to work around that. We're stronger. But I'm telling you, women, you have a lot of power. And so you influence your man. So if you're on his side and you're supporting him, he's going to take over the world.
Here's the part that I think women kind of get lost on. And again, this is in no form of disrespect. A man that's with a woman that he truly loves, if you fuck his day up, it fucks his whole world up. Because
you're right.
Because here's the thing: a man that loves his woman, I'm talking loves his woman, and will fucking fall on a sword just for you to smile. And women don't really realize that, and they start to play these games. They start to try to control them, tell them what they can and can't do, instead of pouring belief into them, supporting them, and tell them, like, go do what you want to do. Let me know what I can do to help out. If you need me to protect the home front, if you need me to go out with you, whatever you need me to do, that's love. That's confidence.
Well, yeah.
That's belief.
100%.
I actually let me read one more thing here too, because I this is something I had a long time ago, this is so damn true, and I think this goes over a lot of people's head. A man with dreams needs a woman with vision. Her perspective, faith, and support will change his reality. If she doesn't challenge you, then she's no good for you. Men, you hear that? If she doesn't challenge you, then she's no good for you. Men who want to stay ordinary will tell you not to have expectations of them. Ladies, you hear that too? That's your time to walk away from a shitty guy also.
Boom.
Men who want to stay ordinary will tell you not to have expectations of them. Men who want to be great will expect you to push them, pray with them, and invest in them. That right there is gold.
Absolutely.
This you could literally like plant that as like a flag in your home, in every home. And if people just live by this code
That's
alone,
awesome. You got to send me that.
this alone can save every single relationship out there.
I believe it. It's look, and I'm going to say this with all due respect because we are in Vegas. Okay, we're in the internet world. We're in the gaming world. We're in the entertainment. We're in the what happens in Vegas. My motto is what happens in Vegas ends up on social media, right? So I'm going to say this another thing. Ladies want a traditional man. They want a man, and what I mean by that is they want a man to go out, open the doors for them, right? They want a man to go pay for dinner, right? Not asking too much, right? They don't want a guy to go Dutch, Okay. And they want a guy to go provide for the family, take care of the bills, pay the rent, pay the mortgage, pay all these bills. But then a woman doesn't want to be traditional. Now she's got, and again, and if you're not making money from it, you're not making money from it. But you got your ass and titties all over Instagram, right? You're out there showing yourself to the world, but you don't want to act like a traditional woman, but you want a traditional man. It doesn't work like that. And that's a problem. Social media has created this whole dynamic for women to go off and show off themselves.
As sex objects.
As sex objects.
Money off of it.
And if you're not making money, fine. And if you are, some people say, oh, this and that, and they can prostitute all this. Look, at the end of the day, guys are paying for it anyways. Indirectly or directly. If a man has no money and living at home in his mom's basement playing Xbox, you're not going to date him. If he doesn't have money to take you out to dinner, you're not going to date him. So if you're on Instagram doing this and you're working for a brand, fitness, whatever it is, and you're not making money, and you look for a traditional man, you want him to do all these things traditional, but you won't be a traditional woman. It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't.
And so my question, if you're in a loving relationship right now and your man says, babe, look, I'm doing all these things. Could you do me a favor? Shut down your Instagram. Would you do it? Would you do it? That's the killer question. I'm not saying my girlfriend needs to do that. She makes money. She's doing some stuff, branding and whatnot. But if I went to her and I said, would
Shut
you,
that shit down.
She probably would. But I also have to deliver and say I'm providing for the family.
I'm gonna make up for this loss.
There you go. And that's the killer question right there. And a lot of women are, what's wrong with me showing this and this on Instagram? Because you're not being traditional.
Okay, check this out. The fact that we just went right into that topic, I work with some clients, male clients, and actually a couple of relationship ones too, on the mental health side and the high performance side. And one of the things is like one of my clients, he's super successful, makes a lot of good money, mid six figures. So he's about halfway to the $1 million marker, and he's actually going to try to hit it by the end of the year.
Nice.
He's got a son, and not his wife, it's his girlfriend or fiance, girlfriend now. They've been trying to work things out. It's not working out. When I dissected everything, she wants him to be home, more family time, more this. Here's the thing. His momentum this year is off the charts. He wants to go out, slay the dragon, conquer shit, make the 7-figure income. That requires him to be out in the field, work, run 20-hour days to bring back that money, to be able to provide for his family, to be able to build that dream that she wants, and at the same time wants him home. And it's like it doesn't work that way. If your man wants to go hunt, let him go hunt. If that means he doesn't come back for 6 days, that means he doesn't come back for 6 days. That's where the communication in a relationship counts.
Was he, let me ask you a question. Was he doing this when she met him? Not the money. His money's getting better, but was he in the same work mode when she met him?
Yes, but not at this magnitude.
Okay, so
and ever since he started working with me, his production and performance has been multiplying because of some certain things that I structured into his schedule. And she wants more money, but wants him home more at the same time.
So is he? And
then wants a bigger house at the same time.
So is he putting in more hours than he did before?
Now he is.
Okay. So she's not able to, it's a change in effect, right? Well, she's not able to adjust to that.
Well, correct. Well, the thing was that was already a challenge before. So because he was already producing. The thing is, when he came to me, I helped him amplify that production, his performance. I literally wrote out his schedule. I structured his whole schedule from start to finish. So, wake up to sleep.
So it was a problem before with the less hours for her. So
and I had to bring to his attention because there was a lack of awareness, and I don't mean that an insult because he's going to see this. He didn't realize that he was telling me, he's like, Sean, I'm caught in the middle. I want to go this way and perform and make more money and help a lot of people out. He's a financial advisor and become successful and provide for my family where we have complete freedom. But she wants me home more. She wants me to spend time with my son more. She wants to have family time more. And I'm like, bro, I was like, you can't do both.
You can't.
That's why I say balance is bullshit. That's why you prioritize time. You make time for date nights. You have to
schedule it. Say that again. Say that again, please.
Women, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with a man having to schedule in the family time, schedule in the date time. That is part of life when it comes to building an empire. It's scheduling. If you expect him to do it on will, you guys aren't going to make it anywhere.
Hey, I got to tell you something real quick. I want to segue into this, but my oldest daughter, okay, that doesn't live, she lives in Washington. She was coming to visit, and she goes, "Hey, are you available?" I said, "I got to look at my calendar." She got offended. My daughter. I said, "You don't get it. I got to fit in your schedule." Yeah. It's not that I don't love you, but I got to look at my calendar. We live off our calendars.
We live off our calendars.
If we lose this shit,
we live for our people and our clients right now.
Exactly.
Yes, we live for our family, but we have to live for our people to be able to provide for our family. And most people do not comprehend that. So when I talk about I sleep 4 hours a night, run 20 hours a fucking day, it's because I got shit to do because I want to provide for my family, and not just my direct family, but also other family members that need my help. And it's up to me to make that shit happen. So if I sacrifice time from clients, from people, from business, that means my people, my family do not succeed and do not have the opportunity to live the life that they deserve. And it's up to me to do it.
And whoever you're dating or whoever you're with, they have to understand where you're at now. And if they don't accept that, my red flag, if you have problems in the beginning, get out. No pun intended. Your client.
You're going to have problems.
You're going to have problems. And what you're going to do is you got zero net gain. What's going to happen is you're going to marry the government. 2-3 years, I'm not happy. I want out. You lose half your net worth. Unfortunately, whether you have a kid or not, I'm not speaking to your client. I'm speaking in general.
Sure.
So if he's seeing this, I'm not speaking to you, guy. You're probably a good dude. But I'm just telling you this right now. If me and my girlfriend have a lot of problems right now, it's not going to get better if we get married. It's going to get worse for me. I have zero net gain. I'm going to give up half of my net income. If we have good times for a long time, great. When I get to my peak and say, okay, now I'm at my peak of my stock, that's a different conversation.
Well, the thing is, my client this month had one of his biggest months ever. He fucking, whatever. We were on it's the
30th today.
It's 30th, you're right. Tomorrow's 31st.
Mass day.
As of end of business yesterday or Wednesday, he did $100,000 for the month.
Fuck yeah.
$100,000 in a month. And she still doesn't see the value of like, okay, I got it. I see it. Like, go do what you want to do. I'll take care of our baby.
So she wants a guy at the end who has the passive revenue that's already there. And he's a high value man. So essentially what she's looking for is one of two things. Either she wants a very high valued man.
That's already done.
He's
made it. It's
or
over.
She's going to go back to basic bitch dude, that 9 to 5 and he's home. But she's not going to get the house she wants. You can't have your cake or your, what is it, cherry on top of ice. You know what I'm saying? You can't have both, right? So it doesn't work. So, if there's a red flag, and I see guys do this all the time. I have friends. Now, I'm not a relationship counselor. You are good at this. But I see red flags. I've had to pull friends aside, say, look, man, I have to talk to you. There's a lot of red flags. You're making 7 figures a year. I don't care who the woman is, but you've had nothing but drama. You're literally basically writing her a 7-figure check saying, here, you make $7 million a year. Okay. So you're going to write her a $3.2 or $3.5 million check right now. You might as well just hand it to her if you get married. Because how many times has she left? I won't tell the person you don't know them, but I know him. And he'll call me every now and then. How's it going? Oh, woe is me. I was like, bro,
get out.
But he can't because he does not know his value. He doesn't get his value. Men, you have to understand your value. And he's going through the same problems with this girl that I had with my ex. Exact same issues.
I'm just going to kind of throw this tip out there. If you are somebody who is at least aware enough to not understand how valuable you are and what your value is, I would start doing this right away. Start eating healthier, start working out, start reading books, start associating yourself with people that are actually performing at a high level, that are in successful relationships, and just pay attention to the things that are happening around you when you're with them.
Yes.
And you'll see very key points where you're like, holy shit, like none of this exists in my life. And very quickly, your value within yourself will start rising to a point where it's like, you will get to a point where you will never let someone tell you what your value is.
Right.
Fuck that.
Take the Band-Aid off quick now before it's painful and slow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's so wild because again, it goes back to the misconception of toxic masculinity. Like so the fact that there's people that actually believe that exists. Here's what's funny. There's women who believe there's such thing as toxic masculinity, and then there's fucking soft men that think there's toxic masculinity. And it's like, man, where are your balls, bro? Like, so you're telling me that we can't go hunt? We can't go dominate what men were put on this earth for?
Yeah, that's what
we're here for.
We got testosterone for a reason.
We're here to go hunt. We're here to go make money. We're here to bring food back. I mean, we're going to repeat that line a lot in this episode, but that's what we're here for. And so why is there no such thing as toxic femininity? Like, that's no different, because that would be basically a woman that wants to rule her husband, tell him what to do, what he can do, when he can do it. That's the same. That would be the same concept.
Toxic feminist, yeah.
Yeah, but again, there's no such thing. Some dumbass at some point created this word because they didn't like what her man wanted to do. Now, here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. If you got a man that's abusive, that's a piece of shit, that's cheating on you and doing all kinds of fucking crazy shit, then yeah, fucking kick rocks. That's just a toxic man.
Yes. And
a toxic person. Know the difference.
And girls, women, ladies, the young men out there are high in testosterone, okay? The guys that are young are still in that I want to fuck you stage, okay? When you're young, you got a lot of testosterone. And if you're good looking and when you're in your 20s and whatnot, the women label them as fuck boys, okay? When you get with an older guy. Gentleman, right? I was going to say that, but that makes me sound like fucking, where's my walker? So when you get with an older gentleman, an older man, they've been, and they're high valued, or alpha, you can talk on that. They've been there and done that. And I've been there, and it's like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. And then you hit it, and you're like, that's it. Because we understand that it's not about that anymore. We want emotional connection. We want somebody to have our back, somebody to help us. And we're not perfect, but if I'm starting to like have a, oh, it was me, like, babe, you got this. But we don't want a combative woman. We don't want somebody who's going to combat us every day. But women, you're going off this old, hey, I was in my 20s and 30s and the guys just want to fuck women. Yeah, they do, because that's all they got right now. When their value goes up, what happens is they're going to separate. And the high value guys are going to start going up and they're like, yeah, I've been there, done that.
I want emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, like, for guys like you and I, like, I'm not stimulated. My life, my being, my entity, who I am as a man and as an individual, I'm not stimulated by sex. Yes, I love sex in a relationship, of course, but that doesn't drive and stimulate me for a relationship.
No.
I want emotional intelligence for a relationship, because here's the thing. There's a big difference. When you're in a healthy, successful relationship, the sexual stimulation comes from the emotional connection.
Right.
Not from the physical appearance.
No.
At all.
No. Because you've been there, done that. You've been there, done that. It's like, okay, it's the same woman.
There's 40 and 50-year-old women and men who actually, this is so crazy, they're still unaware. Like, they still think it's appearance driven, and that's why it's become such a toxic world, and it's become about vanity and fucking looks. It's like, where's the intel? Because if you are a 10 on appearance and your emotional intel is a 6, like, fucking peace out. Like, I want nothing to do with that.
And you know what you're doing?
I would rather have a 6 or 7 appearance and a 10 in emotional intelligence, because guess what? That means together we'll be able to go right off into the stars.
And that's the difference between fucking sex and making love. You're making love at that point. That you're emotionally connected. You're at a whole new level. Because you go out and get a 10 and you say, oh, I'm going to bang her tonight. You just had sex, or you just fucked her. And then you're in a relationship with somebody that has no emotional intelligence. You're having sex. You get somebody that has that emotional intelligence that you're looking for and we're looking for, you're making love. It's a whole different ballgame. You have all three with that person. Because after a while, if you don't have an emotional connection, like you said, Sean, what happens when the sex starts going down as you get older? What happens to your grandparents and you're old in your 80s and you have no emotional connection or intelligent connection with a person? You're not banging like you were when you were
right. And you know what? I actually want, as you're talking, it's making me think. I want to flip this for a second too. Men, you're also just as fucking guilty too, because if you got a woman who is high in intelligence, high in performance, that actually wants to live a certain lifestyle and wants to do whatever she has to do to become a certain person, to make the things, to make the money that she wants to make, you better be a high-performing man also. And
Absolutely.
I'm not talking about the bedroom. Like, you better be a man. Women, the right woman, emotional, intelligent women want a man that does want to go hunt, that's going to be an alpha, that's going to say, babe, I want to go rule the world. I need you by my side.
Absolutely. And you have to deliver.
Yeah.
Talk's cheap, right?
Yeah.
That's so awesome, man. Good point. I mean, I had another thought on this too, but I lost my train of thought. But yeah, I see this happening. And then the other thing, oh, here it is. Why is it that the bodybuilders are created in breakups? Have you heard that term?
Say that again.
Bodybuilders. Okay. When I say anybody goes to the gym that's trying to improve their body is a bodybuilder.
Sure.
Maybe not on a professional level or high
Sure.
amateur level.
Not like a jack dude.
But have you ever noticed when relationships break up? Now I'm going to go to the gym and I'm going to get in great shape. Why weren't you doing that in your relationship?
Yeah, because guess what? That probably would have saved your relationship.
Hello. Right? Because I'm like the last 6 weeks we've been dealing with some stuff and I'm like, oh shoot, I don't want to get the dad bod.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I got a new game plan. I'm rewriting my workout plan, rewriting my meal plan. It's like I'm not going to go into a dad bod because I remember the last relationship, got out of a toxic relationship. I got in the best shape of my life, and I'm like, why am I not doing that now? And I am, but not at the level I was. So people have to. My point is, people have to stay on point and not get comfortable.
This would be the one-time factor where going to go work out and get healthy and in shape does count towards personal growth. Not the vanity bullshit where people go fucking post on Instagram, here's my body, check out my six-pack, working on myself, personal growth. No, that's horseshit. That is vanity and that is toxic as fuck.
Right.
Get the fuck away from someone that's doing that.
Yeah.
That is superficial crap.
And the question,
and I have so much passion to talk shit towards that topic because it's ruining women and it's ruining men.
Absolutely.
It's ruining the whole dynamic of what men and women are supposed to be on this planet.
if you're not making money and you're doing that on Instagram, what's the point? Like
Right. But when you're talking about to develop your mindset to become stronger so that what you do in your health and fitness starts to transfer into your business and into your relationship and into your spiritual life with God or whatever you believe in. Now we're talking about real personal growth, not superficial crap where someone tells you, you go get him, you look awesome. Like, fuck all that, man. That doesn't do anything but boost the negative ego and the bullshit pride that nobody should have.
Right.
And that's the world we live in right now. And that's unfortunately the majority of the fitness industry right now too. And I'm kind of segueing off the topic, but that's part of what's destroying relationships.
Absolutely.
Is
And it's given women a lot of options, a lot more options and accessibility, especially with COVID. I can do what I want. I can date who I want, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you can do that, but you with a high value man, he's not going to deal with it. I'm out, right?
And vice versa.
Well, I bring value. What's your value?
Yeah.
What do you, I'm nice, I'm sweet, I'm good looking.
You know what's funny that you said that? So I've had, oh man, this might hurt some people. So I've had clients that have come to me that tell me about certain people and associations and friends that they have in their life. And I've had to tell people, like, you might have to walk away from some of your friendships. They're too toxic and it's diminishing you as an individual and it's causing destruction in your relationship because someone's pouring some kind of bullshit belief into your head that has nothing to do with what you believe in, where you want to go, your relationship.
So the person's in a relationship and somebody's feeding one of the people in the relationship bullshit. Yeah, that's horrible. That's horrible. And if you don't see that, you need to resist. You need to pull yourself apart. You need to get away from them. Right? If they're telling you negative things about that person you're dating or they're trying to get you away, like here's the best one. This is what I love, right? And I grew up with this. Even when I wasn't making a lot of money. Hey, Dad, I'm in a relationship. Because two weaknesses for men. Money and women.
Yeah.
Bottom line. And we're full of testosterone. So guys we're simple in certain ways. But right now, if my buddies or somebody comes, I've had several people come from Seattle, where I'm from, to Vegas. Dad, when we come out, we're going to tear up the town. I'm like, no, we're not. Hey, we're going to have a guys' night out. No, we're not. Why? Because I know my restrictions. I know that I'm not going to put myself in a situation to jeopardize my income, my net worth, or my relationship. And so I pick my battles. And my value is, hey, we're going to go here and we're going to party like rock stars. It's like, wait a minute.
But sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
But that goes back to what I was saying, because people have friends that cause deterioration in those values,
Right.
and in those beliefs, and in the standards of what your relationship is supposed to stand for, and then you got friends that actually want to pull you away from that.
Yeah, so that person needs a bounce.
You know what I'm saying?
You're fired.
But so many people, dude, I use
You're
that
fired.
word all the time.
You're fired because you're causing pain. I don't want to lose my friend. Wait a minute.
Fuck your friend.
Fuck your friend. Fuck your feelings. You're with a loving relationship and you're worried about what your friend thinks. Sean, you've never said anything negative towards my relationship. If anything, you've helped us. If we've had any challenges in our relationship, you've always said good things about me and my partner. The minute Sean says something negative or says, Daverick, fuck that person. Okay, now I got some issues, but he's only going to help me and tell me what I need to know as a friend. But he's not.
No, because I've always been like, hey man, like whatever you need from me, if I can do something to help you guys out, like
Same
pick up
here,
the phone
yeah.
and call.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not fuck her or fuck him or any of that stuff like that.
Hey, Sean, let's go out. I got these two hotties that want to meet us out. That's toxic.
Here's the problem with bad friends. If you go vent to a friend to tell them like, hey, I'm having this issue with my husband or my wife, this is what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And the immediate response is, well, fuck them, let's go out. Like, no, dude, like,
no.
No.
Because you're going to fuck up and do something.
Well, not just that, but it's like the person doesn't need to step away to go out into the public. It's like, hey,
vulnerable.
Dav, let's you and I go grab a bite to eat and let's have a conversation. Just you and I, one-on-one, no people. Let's go out to dinner or lunch and let's talk. Tell me what's going on. If I can help you, great. It's not supposed to be take you away from the person. It's how can I help you guys do something better?
How can I help build it back? Or is there anything I can do or any suggestions or advice? And you got to look at the fruit of the tree. You've said this. Look at the fucking fruit of the tree. Don't go to somebody that's dating, that's going through women or guys like a freaking vending machine.
Hey, you know what's
Right?
how about this? There's also this. And both men and women, you guys need to realize this. I'm gonna hit really hard with this subject. Let's say you're having a challenge in your relationship. Do not, if you have a friend, everybody has, well, it depends to what level of standards you actually expect from the people around you. But if you have a friend that doesn't necessarily live up to the highest moral code of ethics, standards, and you're going to go vent to them about something that happened, and they're going to have an opinion, and you don't protect and guard and defend your relationship just because you're having some problems, number one, you're a shitty person. But number two, like, you better have the ability to check your friend and say, hey, listen, I'm just venting, but you are in no position to have an opinion about my man or my wife when your lifestyle is subpar to standards.
It's not conducive to mine.
Right. I'm just venting. I don't need your opinion. And I don't want it, nor do you have a right to have an opinion. And there's some people that will just automatically step in and like as I try to tell them like what they should or shouldn't be doing, but it's like, yo, dude, but you're gonna try to help your friend out and tell them what they should or shouldn't do in the relationship, but yet you have an OnlyFans account.
Right.
Fuck out of here.
Right.
Like as a man, if I'm in a relationship like that, and if my wife was to come and tell me that, hey, I went to Brittany and I was telling her about a situation, I thought maybe she'd give me some perspective, and she actually said this about you, I'm going to be like, you got one of two options. You either go kick your friend to the curb, you're no longer going to be friends with her because she has an OnlyFans account and she thinks she can have an opinion, or I'm out the door.
Unless she has an OnlyFans account too and it's on something different, right? That's what you got to, it has to be conducive.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
It's there are friends, both men and women, that had that to friends of people that are in relationships where that friend is double standarding.
You can't be double standard, man. Like, look, and nothing against OnlyFans, okay? Because
no, I'm not. I'm just trying to make an example. Like, no, I got friends that are making.
But you can't go to. I know what you're saying. I cannot give advice to somebody on a certain topic if I'm not in that field of interest or it's conducive to their relationship. If they're coming, hey, Dad, how do you do this, this, and this? If I'm doing that, I can tell them. But if they're like, hey, we want to, do this, and I'm not doing it, hey, you're talking to the wrong dude.
Like,
hey,
bro, if you're a playboy, like, I can't. Your advice is not
right. And
here.
if you come to me and say, hey, look, I'm in a marriage. I never want to get divorced. What should I do? I've been divorced twice. I'm not going to give you advice. I can tell you what I'm not going to do down the road, but this is what happened and failed, but maybe I'm not the best person to go to. And maybe you're just like, hey, you want somebody with experience? Maybe I can tell you, but I'll tell you why they failed. I know exactly why they failed and why now moving forward, I will succeed. But you sure you want my advice? I'm going to check them a couple times because look who you're talking to, right? I'm no angel and I'm not perfect.
Right.
Maybe you want to talk to Sean. Sean's not perfect either, but it's a different perspective.
Well, the thing is because like for example, there's a reason why I've always said this. Someone used to ask me like, hey, Sean, if you were married and you needed relationship advice, who's the first person you'd go to? My immediate response is my pastor.
There you go.
There's no second thought. In my life and in my world currently today, the different areas of my life that I'm wanting to continuously grow and become better at, I know who to turn to for that advice.
Right.
And here's the thing. I also am aware and not stupid enough to go vent to a friend that is subpar to the area that I need help in.
Right. Like you've came to
because that would just be foolish for me.
Right.
To
Like
do that.
we went back and forth over business. Like you asked me a question on business about a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
On something. I asked you a question on investments about a month ago.
Right.
And so we go back and forth. And so we know the success of each other in that area. But if I have a problem in a certain area that you're not a professional at, I can't go to you and you can't come to me.
No, and you have to be aware enough to actually be able to do that too, because there's so many people that will go to their friends and it's like they need emotional support, but it's like, yo, dude, your friend is emotional unstable. Why the hell are you going to that person?
That's so true. Because of a birds of a feather flock together. And,
yeah, man.
And it's the woe is me, and then they gravitate towards each other and they have a pity party who had the worst day game, right? And couples do that. How was your day? Oh, it was terrible, honey. How was your day? Oh, it was right? And it's like, who had the worst day game? I don't want to play that, right?
It's competition.
No, it is.
It's
I don't want to hear your dirty laundry. And it's funny because you ask a guy, how's your day? It was great, right? Guys have a different mindset. Women want more intel, more info. I know my girlfriend, she's asked me a question about something and it's like, she wants all the little details, all the nuggets. I'm like, oh, it was great. Did you close it? Yep, close the deal. Who was it? Boom. I'm done. Right. But she wants, where was it at? What time did it happen? What was the color of the email?
Detail oriented.
It's like, I'm fried from the day.
It's details. And here's the thing. I understand that too. Cause here's one thing that I try to tell. Now I won't say I'm not a relationship expert, but I am a behavioral specialist. I am an expert in human psychology. I am an expert in how to help individuals. So I know how to advise a male and a female as individuals on how they can be compatible with each other and how to be on the same playing field and understand each other's roles.
But they have to be open to that.
Correct.
Because if one isn't, you already know the answer.
It's not going to work.
Peace.
Yeah.
You need to bounce.
Overnight. And where was I going with that?
You said you're no relationship expert, but you can teach people how to navigate.
Yeah, just on behavior, and that's the part where awareness has to come in.
But I think I think that anybody that's at level of a high powered individual should have their antennas up and be aware. You have to have that awareness. You might not know how to navigate through it, but you got to see the signs.
Do you know how many people actually go through this world and coast without actually working on themselves, increasing their self-awareness, understand the difference between superficial positivity and reality?
There's a lot.
There's so much of that. That is, and
we see through the bullshit.
Here's the thing.
We see through the bullshit.
That is probably one of the biggest problems in the mental health factor also, because superficial behavior is so destructive. Forget using the word toxic. It's so destructive. It can it only works so long, and it'll send somebody down a path of depression so bad that they're going to be their world is literally collapsing.
You know what I say? All that you see on Instagram, all that's gold doesn't glitter, because what you see isn't what you get. And
90% of the time it's not.
And a lot of those people are absolutely 100% fucking miserable.
Yeah, you got motherfuckers like renting out Lambos claiming they just bought a new Lambo.
Right. Right. And they're living a life of fantasy, and it's not realistic. The reality is they're actually miserable, and they're trying to portray themselves in a way that tries to make them happy by other people seeing them happy.
They're filling the void.
They're filling a void. And we all have voids, but the reality is check the fruit of the tree. And that's where the mental health issues come in, especially now with COVID and the lockdowns. Like,
yeah, like could you imagine if I was like, I mean, yeah, like as a good friend and a confidant and a partner, I'm definitely cheering your success on. But could you imagine if I was just some like, I mean, to you and I, this is weird, like some weird ass like cheerleader, like go Daverick, you got this, bro. Like, to guys like you and I, that's just weird behavior. Like if I was just cheering you on, like, oh, go, you're awesome, Daverick. And it's like versus like, yo, bro, how's your productivity today? What'd you do? How do you feel? How are things at home? And you and I have a real conversation. It's like, well, hey man, if there's anything I can help you out with, let's redirect versus me feeding you superficial positivity. Like that's so destructive because that's almost like I'm encouraging you to have a participation trophy.
Right. But I do get excited like when you win, like you went to Dallas, I sent you that text message. I was like, fuck yeah, go kill it, Sean. Like I'm excited for you.
Yeah, but you know I'm actually there like in the midst of a business deal.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if I was here and like I tell you, bro, I just did 100 hours this week, you're not gonna be like, yeah, bro, go, bro. Like what?
Like, well, you did.
You'd be like, damn, bro, that's crazy.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
But because you knew I flew out of state to go handle some business, and yeah, that's different. But if I'm on my day-to-day routine, I don't need you to feed me that, and you don't need me to feed you that. What's that going to do for you other than, because listen, what if you're having a subpar day, right? Performance-wise. And I decide to just hit you up and be like, bro, you're awesome. You're fucking killing it. Keep going. And like, number one, it's just so monotone. But number two, it's so pretentious that I'm actually going to enable you subconsciously to do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, because you don't know how my performance was, and so I might have sucked.
Right.
Today.
You could tell me, Sean, I worked 18 hours today, and I'd be like, what did you accomplish?
You could have been playing video games for 18 hours or been on Pornhub and done nothing.
Right. You'd be like, oh, dude, I was on calls all day. Okay, well, how'd they go? Oh, well, I did this. Like, this got pushed back, and I'm going to have a meeting next week. Did you collect any money? No. So, and that's where this is what I'm talking about, like superficial, pretentious positivity and superficial encouragements. Motivation is so flawed today. Like, I need to help you stay inspired on what you're trying to achieve. I can't, if I enable this behavior because of a bad day that you have, you're going to naturally do it the very next day. And you're going to think you were productive. You're going to think you kicked ass. When in reality, when the end of the week comes around, Daverick, did you collect 20K this week? No.
Why not?
Why not?
We think the same. But you know what? A lot of people can't handle that. We can. But if I tell it, and I'll go out here, they may see this. I think anyone but you, if I say, well, what did you do today? Well, how come you didn't? They'll get like, fuck you. Why are you asking me that? They don't want to be held accountable. People don't want to be held accountable these days, and that's why they're not
big performers.
Big performers.
You just nailed it. People want. Oh man,
there's a whole new topic.
Okay, client, if you see this is not about you. People want their shortcomings to be validated and to be told it's okay. And that's what I'm talking about. Like if you tell me about how this is how you did, and if I was to tell you it's okay, bro, you had this, you were sick. Now I'm going to validate your shortcomings, and because of that you had poor performance. That's fucking unacceptable.
Fuck your feelings. There's no excuse for it.
Yeah.
And you can't be soft. I didn't do good because of this. Fuck that. You know what? Get up at 4 a.m. I'm not a 4 a.m. guy, Sean. You are, and I respect that. But if I said that, you'd say, Dav, get up at 4 a.m. Get up at 4 a.m. you have plenty of fucking time. You have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year as everybody else. There's no excuse for you to say, well, my car broke down. I hurt my finger swiping left on the Instagram or whatever. No, get your ass in gear and perform.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I cannot say that to a guy that gets up at 4 a.m. and say I didn't. Now I'm going a little late sometimes, but you better believe I'm going to work my ass off and perform at 100% capacity when I'm working. That's why I don't like distractions. Hey, your son.
But that's why guys like you and I don't care about hanging out. We don't care about chilling. We don't care about going and do fun stuff. Like,
I didn't do anything fun last weekend.
I forgot who said this. I forgot who said this. Winning is more fun than fun is fun.
Absolutely.
Fuck fun.
Right. And
that's all I can say.
My fun has to have ROI attached to it. I always say that. Oh, babe, we're going to go to this pool party. It's like, why? Well, I want to go to the pool party. Is there anybody there of influence? I don't know. I don't want to fucking go. Well, I want to go to the pool. Maybe you go with a friend. Well, I don't want to go. Because I need to get value out of it. I don't want to just see tits and ass all day. Big deal. I don't want to see a guy with 8-pack abs that's broke.
Like me going to Dallas, doing the deals that I did with my advisor and bringing another deal to the table for a friend of mine, that to me is fun. That to me is exciting. That to me is like, man, I just helped create a new trajectory for my friend in his wealth in the near future. And at the same time, I'm doing it for myself. That's fun. That's exciting. That stimulates my mind. That's emotional intelligence.
I'll give you an example. Tomorrow night, we're going to dinner with this gal, okay? She flips homes, and she's got a new business she's starting. There's ROI. So there's value in that. But if we're just going to meet with this friend, go ahead. I'm busy. Right. I got shit to do. So, yeah. So we're on the same page. Absolutely, man. You can't shake the tree, right?
Yeah.
We're going to stand strong.
And I know we jumped around a little bit, but the whole spectrum of what we covered is just so important for people to understand and comprehend from the relationship side, from a man's perspective, from a woman's perspective, how to help each other figure out each other's roles. I'll just close it off with this and leave you guys with the number 2. This could be the number 1, but the number 2 most important thing in any relationship is communication. Without that, you have a dead relationship. And here's the thing. Let me tell you guys something this too. There is such a thing as under-communicating. There's no such thing as over-communicating. So if your partner needs you to over-communicate. There's no such thing as too much information.
And know your roles.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. Know your roles without disrespect. If you don't, look it up. Get with somebody that understands it. Because if you don't, that relationship is done.
Yep.
Right on, man.
Yeah, it was a great episode.
Boom.
Hope you guys enjoyed this. Share it with your friends. If you found it valuable, please share it with your friends.
And make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. The algorithms help us. Brand new channel. We want to grow, expand, and like Sean said, share this with as many people as possible.